السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. We seek the protection of Allah from Shaitan, the rejected one. We begin with the name of Allah, He is most kind and most merciful. All praises are due to Allah. All praises are due to Allah. Glory to Allah. Peace and blessing of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. All the Anbiya, Shuhada and Salihin. Today we will be doing, the topic actually is called Guaranteed Success. The verses are from Surah Al-Mu'minun, Surah chapter 23, verses 1 to 11. It's one of the most common verses in the Quran, and anybody who is not acquainted with it should please make sure they get acquainted with it. It's simple lessons, simple guideline to guaranteed success in this world and in the next. So we'll start off with the first verse, which reads, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قد أفلح المؤمنون. قد أفلح المؤمنون. The believers must eventually win through. قد أفلح, قد it's like almost done. The believers will win. Just on a point, listening to Nauman Ali Khan, and he says aflaha, or the word for victory. There are different words for victory in the Quran, or success. But aflaha is normally relating to cultivation. So what you basically do, you plant a seed, you water the area, and the seed grows into whatever vegetation it is. And you get success, right? So this type of success needs effort from your part. But the success that comes from Allah. Because nobody jumps inside a seed and makes it grow. The seed just grows. So the success actually is from Allah, but the effort is from your side. The energy is from your side. So this is that success that is guaranteed to us, that is dependent on our actions, our behavior. So success is a consequence in this case. That something has to be done for the success to be achieved. So what is it that we need to do to ensure we get success? The first thing, الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. I mean, we all know, everybody will tell you what's the most important principle of Islam, the pillar of Islam. When we talk of a pillar, it's salah, right? So the first thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here mentions is salah. الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. Those who in their salah are full of khushu'. Salah is a pillar of Islam, right? Right, we can't have this masjid. As you can see, this is kind of a basement, and we've got few people holding on to the pillars in case they fall down. You need the pillars, otherwise it will collapse. But what if those pillars are weak? What if those pillars were made with deficient material? There wasn't enough concrete, or there wasn't enough stone, or there wasn't enough iron in there. Then too, the house will still collapse. So we mustn't just look at salah itself. الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. What is khushu'? Khushu' means to be in awe, to love, to reverence. So we have to be in a state of consciousness in the salah, to pray to Allah with love. In order to achieve this, one has to build knowledge of the Quran. Salah is our means of worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we all know that salah is made up of what? Words. Words from where? From the Quran. So really, if you really want to enjoy your salah, number one, you have to become acquainted with the Quran. You must. If you really want to enjoy your salah, you must memorize a few verses. Not being Arabic speaking, you must learn the meanings of a few words, a few phrases. Salah is that it's the means to worship Allah, but the Quran is a means to fulfill the salah. How can you say, I'm a musalli, and you know the last three verses of the Quran, last three surahs of the Quran? You're going to read that for the next 40 years. You're really going to read those 4 surahs for the next 40 years? Come on. Take 10 minutes of your time, learn, not Surah Yasin, everybody knows Surah Yasin. Learn something new. Learn a few verses, but use an English Quran and try and pick up some words here and there. It can only benefit you. It won't harm you. We spend a lot of time with many books and newspapers. So to enjoy the salah, it is important for us to get this khushu, to get this consciousness and this love and this reverence for Allah in the salah. I think it has to become more conscious, especially in our cases, you know. You know, when you're standing for salah, you know, in the way to understand it, you don't have to say that. Oh Allah, I'm praying my dhuhr in salah. Oh Allah, I'm praying the salah, please forgive me and guide me. That's my intention. What is your intention for salah? I don't know. Do you know what you're saying? You don't even know you stood up. You don't know what you're saying. And how are you going to have love and reverence in your salah? Simple things. And I think it's critical for this khushu, for this success, for this pull-up to become strong. It needs khushu. It needs, firstly, basically, it needs a bit of consciousness. So when you stand up for salah, you stand up, oh Allah, I'm praying the salah. Whatever you're going to say to Allah what you want to say. Oh Allah, I'm having a bad day. Oh Allah, I'm here to pray salah, my dhuhr salah, my sunnah or my farad. Oh Allah, please make this day easy for me. Oh Allah, I'm having this problem. Or you achieve some success or something really good happened. Oh Allah, thank you, what a great day I had, you know. I'm praying the salah. The consciousness, talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in your salah, Surah Fatiha, I think, you know, we read in Surah Hijr, I think it is. وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَاكَ, we have given you سَبْعًا مِنَ الْمَثَانِي, we gave you the 7 oft repeated verses. وَالْقُرْآنِ الْعَظِيمِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala almost separates Quran and Surah Fatiha. It's one. But he talks of the 7 oft repeated verses and the Grand Quran. Such an emphasis is placed on Surah Fatiha. If you don't know the meaning of the words of those Surah Fatiha and you go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how are you going to face your Creator when you don't know the meaning of Surah Fatiha? Surah Fatiha, you don't know the meaning. You know, if you learn this a little bit, and I'd just like to give you one small example of how you can make the salah a little bit better. إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ, only you can na'budu, we worship. When you say this, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ, say it and think about what you are saying. Oh Allah, you are the only one I serve. You know, when you watch the 3 Musketeers and they're there, King Arthur is there. Whatever you say, King Arthur, we're going to do. Our lives are for you. You know? You've seen that, right? So you can picture it, you can imagine it. إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ, Allah, serving you only. وَإِيَّا, and only you can nasta'in, we ask you for help. So when you pray, when you say إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ, think in your mind of these issues, this help you need from Allah. For what you need is help. Your kid is having problems. Your family is having problems. Think this for a split second. Just think of these things in your mind. You say, Allah, I need your help for these things. Now you've made your salah a little bit more khushu. And if you do that, let me tell you, over time, you learn a few verses. You'll feel like crying in salah. You will. Because you are talking to your Creator. You know, I will tell you something, and you know, whenever I mentioned it before, and I go into ruku, I say, Subhana Rabbil Azim, Subhana Rabbil Azim, Subhana Rabbil Azim. Glory to you, Lord, most great. I say it like that. Once I say it in English. I don't know if it's allowed. And I really don't care. Because I want to get closer to Allah, and doing this type of thing, it makes a person more conscious of what you are doing in salah. You are in ruku. You are glorifying your Lord. Subhana Rabbil Azim, Subhana Rabbil Azim, Subhana Rabbil. What are you doing? Okay, I got 5 points. But salah is a simple, critical part to our success. But let's make it khushu. Don't leave the pillar. Don't build a pillar and then there isn't enough stones in there. So within a year it collapses. The house of Islam is collapsing. You can look throughout the world. Musallis are there. But what kind of salah is there? The second thing, وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنِ اللَّغْوِ مُعْرِضُونَ, who avoid vain talk. Now, second in the row of the advice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to us, first is salah. Second, we'll say your mother or charity, or we'll think these are the big things in Islam. The second thing for success, Allah says, وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنِ اللَّغْوِ مُعْرِضُونَ, those who avoid vain talk. Why? Why? If we talk of successful people and being successful, vain talk is a simple thing, but you know, imagine this person. You know, I've got a great dream. I'm a guy who wants to see South Africa as a Muslim country. That's my dream. Nah, I've got these great dreams, and I go home tired on the TV there. And They're playing something. I'm watching Harry Potter. What will this do to me? Does it strengthen my big dreams, or that now has brought me back to a piece of dust? It has no power anymore because I lost it somewhere along the line. Watching TV, talking nonsense, going out with the guys, doing this, doing that, talking about the ball, ladies talking about the shoe sizes. Sometimes you wonder, you know, you'll be talking and people are talking about Syria, and all of a sudden somebody say, hey, Black Friday. I don't know if you guys heard about Black Friday. Black Friday, last week, Friday, I think it was. Takealot.com. The whole country went in a blaze. For what? Tell me something somebody bought that he didn't have. I'd like to see somebody show me something he bought he didn't have that wasn't working. This, I love way more. You get, imagine people with great ideas. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spent billions of years to prepare the earth. And He gave us a great purpose in life. And we're sitting and watching the ball. Manchester United or Liverpool. Who's going to win the league this year? Let's fly and go and see the match. Come on. They're playing United and Liverpool. What are you doing? Where is your grand purpose? When you're going to be involved in Islam? Number 4. Verse 4. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِلزَّكَاةِ فَاعِلُونَ. Who are active in deeds of charity. وَالَّذِينَ, and those whom لِلزَّكَاةِ, with their zakah, فَاعِلُونَ. Now you know zakah is a part of Islam, right? We all know that. Someone once told me, he says, don't worry, man. Just make money, then you give charity. Now I was doing a lot of work. I went to him, had some great ideas. I said, you know, we can do this in the community, do that. A lot of black people suffering. And he said, you're going to get in trouble, man. Why you don't involve yourself, man? They'll kill you, man. He said, make money and give it away. I said, who am I going to give it to? Who must I give the money to? This verse, listen carefully. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِلزَّكَاةِ فَاعِلُونَ. If you read out Christ says, وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةِ, give zakah. Here he says, وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِلزَّكَاةِ فَاعِلُونَ. The word فَعَلَ means to do something. It means you doing something. فَعَلَ doesn't mean to give, doesn't mean to spend. فَعَلَ means to do. He did that. We say فَعَلَ. You see, you read Surah Fil, we like Surah Fil. Alam tara kayfa, do you not see? Alam tara kayfa, do you not see? How? Fa'ala rabbuk. Your Lord dealt bi ashabil fil. How, what your Lord did to the companions of the elephant. What did He do to them? He didn't spend on them. Fa'ala means He did something. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِلزَّكَاةِ فَاعِلُونَ. And those who in their zakah, they are doing zakah. Do you give zakah or do you do zakah? Do you give zakah or do you do zakah? Do it, meaning get involved in the charity. Don't wait for the guy knocking the door. Can I have zakat? I need lillah. Get involved. Take that money and go do something with it. You yourself get involved in this act we call charity. Charity is not just something that you give in terms of finance. Charity is something that you are involved with to reform society, to help the poor, the needy, to take society from a lower state to a higher state. And everyone, regardless of his color, or even of his religion. But charity is about uplifting humanity. So, وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِلزَّكَاةِ فَاعِلُونَ. Do the zakat. Verse 5. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِفُرُوجِهِمْ حَافِظُونَ. And who abstain from sex except with those joined with them in the marriage bond, or the captives whom their right hands possess. For in their case they are free from blame, but those whose desires exceed those limits are transgressors. Success, again, needs strong resistance. Okay? You're a successful businessman. You get tempted to buy things you shouldn't, and you resist it. Am I right? It's business. You buy the wrong stuff at the wrong price, you're in trouble. Resistance. You must, the desires, Allah has placed in our lives as human beings, we have desires for the opposite sex. But this is, marriage is that avenue where we can fulfill these desires without creating a very poisonous society. If we have relationships outside of marriage, desires are there. Every man has it, every woman has it. It's going to happen. But once it's done in marriage bond, then it is protected. It's a way for us to release our desires. Every man has it. It's part of the strength that we have. It's a part of our nature that Allah has created. So we need to learn that resistance. We need to learn that control of our desires. So marriage is a tool to be able to control that resistant desires. Those who, verse 8, وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِأَمَانَاتِهِمْ وَأَحْدِهِمْ رَاعُونَ. Those who faithfully observe their trust and their covenants, speaking in the truth, keeping your promises, fulfilling your obligations. When we make promises, we are actually taking Allah as our witness. Am I right? I say, I promise you. Means now I'm taking Allah as my guarantee. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is now is the guarantor. He's watching. Because you made a promise. You sign a contract, Allah is watching it. That's our mindset of a believer. That's our mindset as we grow up. Whatever we say, we need to learn to speak the truth. The Prophet ﷺ, before he became a prophet, he was known as Al-Amin as-Siddiq. The truthful one, the trustworthy one. To keep our words, to fulfill our contracts, to ensure that we are true to our contracts is part of the great success. You know, when you in business, you'll find that if you a good payer, or if you keep your word, people start trusting you. People start giving you credit more and more. People start respecting you enough to give you better deals. And when this happens, it's about success. A trustworthy person definitely has an edge in business itself, an edge in this world and in the next world. If you look at all these verses are there, success, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ, is not only this side, that side, it's both sides. And then the last verse of this set of verses for our advice, وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ عَلَىٰ صَلَاتِهِمْ يُحَافِظُونَ. Now we started off with salah, and we said it's a pillar. But khushu is what makes this pillar strong. And then hafizun again to end it off with for the success. Everything that came in between should be started with salah and ended with salah. We started with fajr, we end with isha. Even a night prayer. Salah is that focus that we need in life. That discipline. 5 times a day. Like the Prophet ﷺ, his companions, he asked his companions, if a man baths 5 times a day, can you find any stain on him? He said, Ya Rasulullah, no, we cannot find it. So he said, salah is like that. Salah is supposed to be the purification. You come to the masjid, like I said, with khushu, not up, down, merry-go-round, and you're gone. Nothing you know, nothing you heard. You never communicated with your Lord. You don't know what you said to your Lord. Totally sewing machine without a needle. Totally. And so now the khushu must be in that salah, and that, like I said, we need firstly the understanding. And then it grows. And then, to end it off, you hafizun. You must protect that salah. These pillars here, to keep up the masjid. We have to ensure that nobody is sitting too hard. It's a pillar. We must make sure that these pillars are strong. Ensure that nothing touches these pillars, because if these pillars become weak, the house is gone. Salah got no khushu, the house crumbles. The salah is not protected, the house crumbles. So all the success that we spoke about salah. Let's do recap. We must have salah, but salah must be filled with khushu. We must avoid vain talk and nonsense and idle tales, and getting involved in things that have no real beneficial value. You know, something that is vain. We talk of something that's vain. It doesn't really have real weight in terms of the purpose of our creation. Number 3, we should be active in charity. Do zakat. Don't just pay zakat, do zakat. Get involved. Get involved in the upliftment of the society. And we should abstain from any form of illicit relationships except in the marriage. Marriage is there. Allah has gifted us as marriage to make it easy for us to release our desires in a halal way without disrupting society. And then lastly, you must faithfully observe your trust, your covenants, your promises, your word. You must be true to your words. You know, we lie so easily today. They should, you know, to lie. When you lie, it must come to a stage when you lie, and you must feel so guilty. You must be praying to Rakat Salah. There's a level we have to get for Islam, for the success to grow. And then lastly, protect your Salah. أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْوَارِثُونَ الَّذِينَ يَرِثُونَ الْفِرْدَوْسَ. These will be the inheritors who will inherit paradise. They will dwell therein forever. So Allah has guaranteed us success in this world and in the year after. The verses are quite clear and simple. Like I said, goes to Surah 23, chapter 23, verses 1 to 11. Read it, print it out, put it on your wall. You know, sometimes you read something, right? Or soccer, you know, United lost 5-0. Then everybody will print on a wall. The Arsenal fans will put on their wall. We do things like this. Am I right? We do stupid stuff like this. So why not do that with the verse of the Quran? This verse is, hey, pluck it up there. Do something to show your Lord that you are serious about His deen. The little thing, put it up. Read a verse every day. Try and learn a word every day. Make sure your salah improves. Simple. If you don't understand your salah, try and learn one word. Surah Fatiha, you cannot go to your grave at the age of 75 years old if you don't know the meaning of Surah Fatiha. I think it will be the biggest embarrassment on the Day of Judgment. Surah Fatiha you don't know in English. Really, in your own language. You're reading it, you don't know what it means. Something is wrong. So try and learn your Surah Fatiha. And get involved in the charity work, get involved in the society. Take a more broader look at your life, the greater purpose that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us for. So try these things, inshallah. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.